That would have definitely stopped the podcast from being filmed for a minute, depending on how bad the bleeding was.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
I could have just had a napkin or some paper towels or some shit, just holding it there. Dude, we could have just wrapped my head with paper towels.
Yeah,
like a POW.
What episode is this?
POW.
It's like the Civil War. In the podcast. People just see like a spot of blood forming on my head slowly as the podcast
What the
goes
hell?
on.
An hour in is just like all red.
Just a massive lump is just growing from his head.
People are
He's saying shit like, bro, monsters are fucking gay.
Monsters fucking
eat. What the hell's going on?
That'd be really funny. Like, people in the comments are like, "Is he okay?" Like as it goes on.
No, he's
You just see
dying.
me start to get progressively more pale. As the fuck start sweating. Like that was really funny to say. That was a good one.
Oh god.
You know.
Oh god, hot dog water sounds bomb right now.
You know what also sounds bomb right now? Episode 55 of the 2 a.m. podcast, everybody. Welcome back.
Like we almost just expect that now every time.
You
know what else?
Honestly, we're really good at that.
What?
We don't plan that.
No,
at all.
never.
No, we don't. We
Which is fine.
actually never plan it, which is insane.
Goes to
plan
show we
every
have
now and
skilled
then. Like
people.
when we did the water test to prove that Zayd is not the water champ.
Kiss my
Yeah,
ass.
To this day, no, you're not.
You're not
We
saying.
proved that. We have videographic evidence of it.
My ability to taste the TDS is impeccable.
You
alright?
thought Arrowhead was the best, and your least favorite was your air quote favorite brand of water.
That
You know
was
what I
actually
you know what I
funny.
blame that on?
What?
The plastic cups you put it.
those cups were not made out of.
Claps.
Those cups weren't made out of plastic.
Yeah,
they're made out of
what were they?
paper.
The red cups?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whatever, they resembled plastic to me.
Damn. All right. Well,
Zayd is still not the
Placebo
water champ.
maybe what he was tasting was the dye.
Actually, as
of
a
the
matter
redness.
of fact, if it was all plastic, like just a normal solo cup, probably would have been a better test for you, quite frankly. Than the paper.
We might have another test later.
The
on.
paper might have extracted some flavor. I think for the next one, we should definitely
We
have
still,
a more comprehensive review.
we still need to test him with soda.
a soda taste test.
Are you the soda champ?
Hell yeah, dude. I'm
What's-
a soda champ,
What kind of soda are you rocking with? Like,
Dude, Dr. Pee-Pee.
dude. Anything.
well, okay, here's the other question. Do we just go based off of type of soda? For example, lemon lime. So you get like Sprite, then you go get like the Kirkland brand,
Mhm.
then you go get like a whole bunch of other
Yeah.
brands that do lemon lime.
That's what
stuff
I'm
like
thinking.
that.
I think that's like the fairest way to do it.
You can't get like Cherry Coke and then Fanta and then
No.
Vimto. Like that's
Because
just
you'll
not
know
gonna work.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's obvious. Or
Yeah.
the question is, do you drink it and guess what the brand is, or do you just rate which one's the best based off of that? We'll figure it out.
It could be
afterwards.
like, which one's the best doctor?
No, you definitely have to guess the brand.
who's writing the best prescription?
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to do. It wouldn't make sense
It's
to do.
Dr. Shasta.
Doctor, I've heard Shasta. Okay, I'll say this right now. Shasta has one of the best grapefruit sodas on the market.
I don't
Period.
think there's a lot of grapefruit sodas in general.
Squirt.
Squirt.
Hanson probably has one.
Hanson
Wait,
probably
I
has
had no
one.
idea Squirt was grapefruit.
Yeah, Squirt is a grapefruit flavored.
I
That's
thought it was
why
like
it tastes like that.
I thought it was like a bitter lime or lemon peel.
Squirt? Grapefruit.
Not lemon. Lemon peel, dude. Lemon peel.
Lemon
soda.
peel. Okay, one of the best, like, I guess you could call it a mocktail in a sense, like, is Squirt mixed with Hawaiian Punch.
Mm.
That is unbelievably good, and your blood sugar is just going to go through the
No,
roof.
it's gonna go.
Hyperinsulinemia, bro.
just ascends.
Yeah, dude. You raise me up.
You just like start lifting out of your chair, just like take me.
If there was ever an anthem for your blood sugar, it would be
dude,
that.
like, you raise me up so high.
Just starts floating.
Damn fool. Yo,
Fucking
dude, his
ridiculous.
diabetes kicking.
Taste the diabetes.
What hap-
Squirt and Hawaiian Punch.
What happened to him today? God, Mondays.
He forgot his insulin shot.
Speaking of
Insulin?
insulin, is it?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
I have no idea. I
No.
just want to see where it goes.
No, there was like a whole report about people were getting mad that insulin is still very expensive in the U.S. because it is, but
Mhm.
there's going to be like some price cuts later in the year, or they start next year, excuse me, something like that,
Yeah.
to lower it to the price of what it like actually should be.
Mhm.
People are still pissed about it, rightfully so. It is kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Or how about this? We just get our shit together as a country and just solve the root cause of the problem.
We're gonna get to that later.
Yeah, well,
And-
that's the problem is getting together as a country.
Everybody
if you haven't been able to tell,
feels like
but-
everybody hates each other nowadays.
yeah, literally that's how it is, bro.
For so many reasons.
Yeah, it's a dick measuring contest. That's what it is, bro. Bro, my country's been at war for 70 years. Yours has only been 65 years. Therefore, I get priority. For what? Like what? Priority and awareness?
You really have to take a
Like,
step back
no.
from everything to understand that that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's
It's a bunch of people
you-
saying it's 7.5 and realistically
you know
it's
what's
5.5,
funny is that
you know what I'm
sometimes
saying?
that's how I think. I literally think of taking a step back. In my thoughts, I'd be like, all right, let's just leave that at level base, like, good level thoughts, and then let's take a step
Mhm,
back.
mhm.
So you
And
can
then
look at
now
what
your
that
thoughts
thought
are a
is.
wall.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, everyone is stupid.
It's the museum of thought found
There we
within the
go.
space of your mind.
Yes.
sounds like a book
The Museum of Thought
by Logan.
by
Cyphers.
Logan.
Not only is he gonna run for governor of
By
California,
at Logan _
but
S.
he's gonna become an author.
By Logan _S. That's the author.
That's my Instagram handle.
You know, in parentheses next to his name is gonna have Gasted.
Gassed it
Since
right
all
there,
of his
boy.
fucking Grubhub orders are that.
Nobody will get that though on the podcast. That's like
Yeah,
such
that's
an
a-
old reference. Like
Yeah.
maybe 2 people, actually maybe 4 because
So
you guys
that's,
get it.
I'm assuming that's like a gamer tag from when you were like 4.
I made it. So it started. We were talking about the game a long time ago. Actually, it was like we were talking about our favorite games and whatnot from childhood.
Yeah.
And I mentioned one called Puzzle Pirates.
Okay.
And one of my best friends from probably my best friend from childhood. Like he and I played the game all the time.
Mhm.
And his name was Gast, just Ghast. Before there were Gasts in Minecraft, just saying. Just putting that out
I do remember.
for the
those.
record. He literally just went like da-da-da on the keyboard and
Mm.
Ghast came out.
Huh.
Like I saw him do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need a name too. And I was stupid, so I just added an ED at the end of it. It worked fine.
There
It's
you
a good
go,
name.
dude.
Now,
Influence.
after that, I made a Gmail. My first Gmail was gasted at Gmail. And I now get emails from a guy named Grigor Hasted. I've been getting his business emails for about 7 or 8 years.
Oh no.
And I don't know if they're actually going to where they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this guy's like, I just don't get any of our emails.
This guy just has funds on hold and shit for
Yeah.
years. This guy's a fucking billionaire.
Oh no, it's stuff like, so are you coming to the meeting today? Like,
Yeah. What the
like
hell?
did you get that report in? It's just a
Damn.
bunch of that shit. I have 7 to 8 years of it backlogged.
Dude,
17 years later, they finally call him in for a meeting and they go, "Hey, we're just concerned on why you're not responding." And he's like, "What are you guys talking about?"
We were wondering, Grigor, you're really bad at getting back to us
Yeah.
through your emails. Is there a problem? But I've never gotten emails from you guys. What are you talking about?
Dude, I take a look at your
We have
message-
emails?
Yeah, what the hell?
I look at your messages like notification number and your email notification number. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
Well, for the email one, that's easier to explain.
He's got like 17,000 fucking emails.
The reason it's all like advertisement shit that you never open, or it's all spam
Ooh,
emails where if
okay.
you open it, it's gonna crash your computer and
Yeah.
T-minus, it's already gone, you know?
Yeah.
But for the text one, it's a lot of like group chats that I was in over time, and I turn off my notifications for group chats because they drive me insane. Just hearing ding, 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 like, and it's like 11:30 or
Yeah.
12:30 in the morning.
Turns into
or-
fur Elise.
Yeah, seriously.
Ding, 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 ding.
ding, 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 ding. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
It's like 12:30 in the morning. I'm like trying to go to bed.
Yeah, and I don't know why. 12:30 in the morning. That's when it like all just becomes hype.
Pops off.
Yeah, it just pops off. Everyone's off of work and shit.
Everybody's having fun, a good
Yeah.
time. The group chat. I'm like, I'm over this shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I have so many built up in there to
Mhm.
answer your question, Zayd.
I guess to each their own.
Yeah.
People are just different.
No,
It doesn't bother me because
Mhm.
like I only look at my top 15 to 20 texts anyways. Anything
Yeah.
after that is usually irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I really need to see something that somebody sent me, we now have the search feature. So
Yeah.
I just get to type that shit in and be super lazy. Like
Convenience.
like let's say Zayd sent me something a year ago and I need to find it and I haven't talked to him in a year. I'll type in Zayd and then it'll pop up. It's super freaking easy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I had a thought the other day about something Apple should add to their texting feature or functionality.
What is
Hmm.
it?
And it never even occurred to me up until like some business classes I had to take and there's like a lot of math involved with it. Why is it that when you're texting, like and you text out a mathematical sequence, that the answer for it doesn't pop up when you're typing?
You're
So, like,
right.
for
Oh,
instance-
like on Gmail, the new addition to Gmail, where they
that a
basically
thing?
finish the sentence for you.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to that.
yeah.
But for instance, if you want to type like 20 times 10, for instance, and then you
Mhm.
do an equal sign, it just leaves it at that. It doesn't say 200 as a
Yeah.
suggestion after that.
Okay.
That'd be like a nice little feature to
Yeah.
have.
They'll
I mean,
have that.
I'm pretty sure they have it locked up somewhere for the iPhone 15 release. Because money. That's
iPhone
why.
2020.
Jesus, dude.
Speaking of which, it's time for an upgrade. I've had this phone for a while.
Yeah, your front
you
camera
at,
looks
man?
like, or no, is it your back or front?
The front one
Every
is
time
atrocious.
he opens up his FaceTime, it looks like, what does it look like?
It
It's
just
this-
looks like what are those? A kaleidoscope. Like, you know when you look through the
Yeah.
kaleidoscope and you twist it and it's like
Yeah.
all those changing color. That's what my FaceTimes look like now.
That's sick.
And I can't go back to replace the glass at Apple because I don't want to pay
Yeah.
it was like $280 or $290 to switch out the front and the back glass
Yeah.
for the iPhone.
Yeah,
I'm
just
like,
get an upgrade.
yeah, I'm like, fuck that.
No, dude, just shift your perspective, dude. That's not a cracked screen. That's a custom filter.
It's a custom
See
filter.
on there?
The shittiest custom filter of all time.
Although what does suck is the cracks are over some of the sensors for the facial scanning thing.
Oh god, yeah.
So it's just like, what do you want me to do here?
Yeah.
Every time you open your phone. So
Screw
I don't
it.
mind putting in the passcode like the OG style. Remember slide to unlock?
Yeah.
I miss that.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Now it's swipe to unlock.
Yeah, swipe up or a
Face ID.
Face ID, or if you have a little bit of a older phone. I don't know. Do the newer iPhones still have the touch ID thing on them?
No.
Where you use your fingerprint.
No,
Did they get rid of that?
They got rid of all buttons, like on the screen itself.
Oh yeah, you're
Which
right.
is a very smart move.
Or they might go the route. Was it Google Pixel or somebody came out with a phone where you could do a fingerprint scanner just through the glass?
Yeah, I think it was Samsung
Was it Samsung or Google
LG.
Pixel?
or it could be.
It
Pixel.
was one of those.
Oh, it was Pixel. You're right on the back.
Yeah.
So-
Oh no, not that one. I mean, like literally on your screen, like right here on the front. There's like a
Samsung.
fingerprint scanner.
Yeah, it was Samsung.
Yeah. You just go like that and you're in.
That's I don't know. Why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just see if you
Scan my
still
face.
want. It's just another level of security, I guess.
Yeah. I
But-
know a lot of people that are very concerned about security to the point where like they have a VPN for their VPN shit. You know, like-
Really?
yeah.
Are you serious?
Meta
Yeah,
VPN.
Jesus.
And it's like, what laptop is that? There's no logo on it. You know? You're like,
Or what about the people that are getting flip phones that aren't run through Google's interface or like a Verizon standard or a standard Verizon interface? Like they have their own UI, so it's like super hard to track their phones and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's like a third party thing
Yeah.
altogether.
It's like they made their own software or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, because I am one of those people.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about security stuff because
We know.
Yeah.
I have a belief that you should be allowed, you have a right to privacy. So the fact that the government just allows that shit to happen willy-nilly is a little concerning to me.
Yeah. Through cool tech gadgets.
Yeah.
That's what they're using it as.
Also, sorry.
What's going on here?
Chief.
Yeah.
Because when the microphone, I'm in a
55 episodes in, and I don't know how to put a microphone.
I'm
to
in a
my-
music. I'm sorry. I'm in a class where all we do is talk about microphones and like
Mhm.
setting up stages and stuff. So, just a little bit of a tech nerd
What is
or nerding out on microphones. It's a cardioid dynamic microphone. So essentially, if you think about it,
He lost me at cordioid.
Yeah. Well,
so I'll explain what that means.
think of
That's
directional.
essentially yes, right? Field of
So
direction. So the
dorky.
way your microphone is geared, right? Picture it like it's a dome, and it goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then it pinches up at the bottom. So like comes out and wraps over and pinches up. For people at home that are watching, it looks like this. Pinches up in the center, comes down out like this, back in. So what that means is there's 100% sound rejection when I go like this, or essentially 100%. Like you're not gonna be able to. There's a decent amount right here, minimal over here. But having the microphone pointed at you is the best way to
Yeah,
speak into it.
that's where.
So when you
Makes
talk
sense.
when you talk like this into the microphone, when you talk like this, like you're missing a huge portion of the sound.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if we wanted to change that in the future, we're gonna have to get like there's just a whole bunch of different mics that we can
Yeah.
get that actually are
Yeah.
like,
We'll
designed
figure
to
that
face
out.
From
in.
point A to point Z, there's a range of dynamics, and that the more you rotate it, the smaller it's getting. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all described by, I think it's called, it's
Mm.
polar field, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Sorry, had to nerd out about mics there for a second.
It's all good. Anyway,
But it is.
did you guys hear about Yelp?
Listen, I'm trying to figure out whether I saw that on Twitter or you sent it first.
I don't know, but I posted on my story this morning.
Okay.
But yeah, Yelp, as we all know, is this platform for businesses to market and promote and
Get the name out.
Great
get the name
platform.
out. Yeah, basically, and people can review their stuff and comment and do all that thing. So a lot of suggestions will pop up. You know, if you're looking for somewhere to eat, groceries, a night out, things like that.
Thanks, Father.
But I think they're implementing. I don't think they have implemented yet.
Well, they're
is-
going to.
They're
It's-
going to, right?
yeah.
Like it's confirmed at this point. That businesses can be called out for racial slurs or racial being racist towards a certain type of group of people.
For customers in general.
Yeah.
Right. Now, is that a good idea if the business is being like legitimately racist towards a specific group of
Well,
customers?
I don't think it's a bad idea.
No, it's.
I
I don't
would-
think it's a bad
I
idea.
think it's an unnecessary
Depending,
idea.
yeah, but depending on how they take it and how they generate that process of how you can even make someone be noticed as a fucking racist,
Mm-hmm.
that should be like it shouldn't be as easy as you think. Like you can't just be like, oh, this guy like discriminated against us because I was wearing a high jab, low jab, you know? Nah, I'm just kidding.
The issue with it, I want to relate it
Job.
to YouTube because YouTube has a very specific algorithm for whatever strikes on
Yeah.
content and all that stuff. They have taken it too far because they take content that is just about sharing a different perspective and then they strike that down.
Yeah.
Such as
but
COVID,
that's.
all that.
But they're allowed to do that as a company.
They are.
They are. That's their decision to make. If you
Yeah.
don't like it, you don't have to play by their rules,
Yeah, but now
or you don't have to do business with them. Excuse me.
with especially small businesses, you're messing with potentially, like someone can say the wrong stuff. It could be wrong info, right?
Mhm.
And they're like that would be unfair if they were to get a strike or just get taken down, just because of like wrong info without any confirmation.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I'm worried.
And it's like, how do you even confirm that?
Well,
That's the
thing.
question,
It
you
has
know?
to be. I'm pretty sure it has to be a full-on report.
I don't know. They're going to need to drop some more information about how it's
Yeah.
actually done, because I mean, you could just outright lie if you wanted to,
Yeah.
if you were a dick, and then just completely annihilate a business.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, because
Right.
during the rise of like the BLM movement and stuff, people, especially around Newport and Laguna and stuff, people that went out and go like like they're against BLM and they're like straight up in front of their shop, people would go and just like either loot that place, destroy it, or graffiti it and put fucking racist or something like all over the shop. You know what I mean? Now that Yelp is doing it,
I just don't
just
see
kinda-
like it's such a fucking unnecessary move in my opinion. Like Yelp is a successful business and everything is going
I mean,
right for them for
but
the most part.
it's kind of like it's just. I don't think it's to take down the businesses. I think it's more so that people know, like, yo, just a heads up.
Exactly.
It's just a heads up.
But also, the Zaid, I kind of get where you're coming
Yeah.
from, because you could just write in the review that you left of the place, yo, this employee said X, Y, and Z. He said this, he said that, and then usually, correct me if I'm wrong, can you like comments on Yelp, and then the more they're liked, they move towards the top,
I'm not
or like
sure.
the most useful or whatever reviews?
I-
like you can filter it for most useful, or
Yes,
like
yes, you can filter it.
highest stars or whatever.
Not too sure on what you can filter, but yeah, I do know that businesses will be generally like at the top just be labeled as racist. That's
Like listen,
that's
we
kind of like overboard, dude. Like imagine like seeing the picture of your favorite restaurant and then it just says fucking racist owner.
we know that word of
What?
mouth is probably the most powerful form of marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why the fuck do you have to implement it? If a business is racist, people are inevitably going to find out and they're not going to support the business.
Exactly.
So you have to put this whole UI platform
Yeah.
thing.
I don't like the idea.
I
mean,
think it's
because
stupid.
I think that I like the fact that it's open source and you can post stuff, and then the manager would be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry about your experience. Like,
Yes.
can you come back so we can change that for you? Blah 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 blah." People that are engaging,
Yeah.
right? But it's fine. I 100% support people to leave comments.
Yeah, like by all
Mhm.
Yeah,
means,
just be like, tell me about your experience, just as a heads up, because I don't need a heads up as a banner on a fucking.
It's the whole point of Yelp.
Can you imagine going to Cheesecake Factory and just be like fucking white racist? Like what? What happened?
What is
You know
going
I
on
mean?
here?
Like, why'd you sue him? He's white, huh? Just because he owns a cheesecake factory?
Or better, I think that's more on the basis of like, does it count? Like, will there be a huge banner if there's like one experience of an employee, not even like a manager or the owner of the establishment? Like, is it automatically assumed or labeled as a racist business if there was one incident with a employee?
It could be.
Wait,
It
why-
could
And
be.
also, can you get that overturned, or is that shit for life?
That's what I was wondering.
Is it like herpes? Does it
That-
stay forever?
Yeah,
Why-
that was my second thing.
Why are we assuming that they're just gonna have a banner for the business? They
Well,
might just
because-
altogether take the business off of Yelp. If it's racist, I mean, I don't know why they would have this is a racist business. Like,
Well, it did say in the article that at least you sent me. It said it would label the businesses.
Yeah.
that's so fucking.
Can you imagine reading
Yeah.
a comment that says, "Fantastic food. Me and my wife come here all the time. Slightly racist, but fucking bomb."
The burgers are fire.
Yeah, dude.
It's just I don't know.
Don't
It-
miss out on the pepper jack. You know.
Like, definitely, we want to know if people had an encounter that was racially motivated in
Yeah.
a negative way. Like, we want to know about that shit. And people, if they see that in the comments, because people go through Yelp like it's a social media now, like they'll like that or say this was a useful review, and then you
Mhm.
could filter it and see them. People will be like, oh, I don't want to eat there.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, why does there need to be a banner for it? Like
yeah,
you said.
I think we need to take a step back and remember that not everything is a fucking racial motive,
Yeah.
right?
But if it's obvious, like if an employee
Yeah.
comes to your table and they're like, "Oh God, I don't want to serve whatever race of person is sitting here," like
yeah,
Why do I feel like a lot of racist people are going to go in and because they got shitty service, they're going to label that
yeah,
as like
that's their
racist
mission.
behavior?
That's on their bucket list. to,
Now,
like,
I
take
was-
down as many
It has to have
businesses.
some backlash effect.
I was gonna say something along the lines because something not racially motivated, but a customer that I was helping out at work just came in radically upset. This was like years ago too, and they came in. They completely cut the line and like tried to order, and I'm like, "Hey, you cannot do that. Like, you have to wait." And what they were doing was they were standing outside with their phone trying to order over the phone, which it's already blasting the phone. Like, we already got 15 callers lined up. There's already 20 tickets in the window. The line to wait just to order is over an hour and a half long.
Damn.
Just to order. And this person's trying to cheat the system, so my manager's like, "No, don't help them out. Like, we can see them. It's blatantly obvious,
Yeah.
right?" And so this lady came in and was just furious. Like, "I've been trying to order for half an hour." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." She was like, "What do you mean you know? Like, why didn't you take my order then?" I'm like, we're not, like, my manager told me not to do that. It's super unfair to all the other customers that are waiting in this line, and you're here. Like, you're at the establishment. She's like, "You should still take my order." And I guess we should have in the long run, but at the same time, like, this is just ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
we're already stacked with or without the phones, right? And you're just trying to take advantage of the system, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to her.
Situations
And
like
she
that.
was pissed, like started yelling at me, and then she stormed out, got her husband. He came in. I knew her husband.
Yeah.
I knew this guy.
He's like, "Excuse my wife." I don't know. He's probably
Yeah.
like a humble ass dude.
Oh,
Like,
he's so nice.
Yeah,
He was
there
like
you go.
he's like the nicest dude. And he's like, "Man, I'm so sorry. Like, I know it's crazy." And I'm like, "Hey, you know what? 'Cause it's you, I'll put in the order." And
Yeah.
I'm like,
You know what? Because you're a simp.
I apologize for my wife being a raging cunt.
"No, okay. Oh, Jesus. No.
God damn.
Not that. Okay. Calm down."
Was she not a raging cunt?
No. She was just trying to cheat the system.
She was radical.
This happens.
She
all
was
The time.
she was angry, but
Yeah.
like not raging,
That happens all the time.
Same
But
shit
here's
with me.
I get where Logan's coming from because.
But my point is,
Yeah.
she left a Yelp review about it.
Oh my God.
Left a Yelp 1 star.
Yeah.
Said I had the worst customer service, the worst ordering experience, like the food. Like they didn't even help us out in the end, which we did. Like
Mhm.
we essentially gave them an hour and a half cut, or really 2 hours and 2:15 if you include the time to get the food to your table. Like
Yeah.
we saved them essentially an hour and a half to 2 hours, right? And then she left this scathing review
Yeah.
about how horrible of a company
Yeah.
we were and how shit of an employee I was. Like,
Did she bring up? I've been coming here since 1987.
no,
you know,
she
like-
didn't. No, she didn't.
Okay, thank God, because I hate those kind of customers.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm never coming back." And
You know what the beautiful part about that is?
Hmm.
in Bear Flag's case, because they're such a successful business, it does not matter.
Yeah.
Leave whatever review you want.
Yeah.
Be as mad as you want.
Yeah, but those situations are hectic, and I'm glad that you didn't help her out immediately, because fuck that.
Well, it was my manager. It was also new.
Yeah,
I was like
because
relatively
your
new.
manager knows what he's doing. Like, he's like, how is that fair to anyone that's
Yeah.
out there? If you take her order, people are gonna realize, and then they're gonna be pissed, and now you have 3 more pissed off customers.
Oh no! Now we have an entire line of probably hundreds of people
Yeah.
that just saw that shit go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And they're
So
not
screw
cool.
that.
And it
That's
messes
not-
with the
it's not
flow
worth it.
too.
Yeah. This was, by the way, years before COVID, so people were still allowed to come inside. We didn't have masks on or anything like that.
That's disgusting, dude. Can't believe that location's tiny too.
But my point is, what if
Anyway.
somebody comes in, like Zaid said, and they just had a really bad experience, and they were like, I want this business to fail, like, because my experience was bad.
There are those people.
Or because my business needs to pop.
And then you have to also ask the question, how often is that really going to happen?
Yeah.
not
know.
not often.
Not often,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got to cover all these bases, right?
Yeah.
I guess this just goes to show that Yelp is run by a bunch of liberal people.
Well, no. What's
No,
hilarious?
or-
No,
Not
that's
that I'm for liberal
that's,
or conservative.
No, that's
I
not the
don't care.
case. I think they're just trying to do what they feel is best, right? Like they're trying to,
I
because
guess.
in theory, what they're trying to do is, in a way, a good thing. They're like letting people know, hey, like these are shitty people.
Mhm.
Like, do you want to do your business, or do you want to do business with these shitty people that are acting very inappropriately
I
in
can
a way that they
understand
should
that.
not? You know, so they're coming from a good place, but I think it's possible that some people might take advantage of it. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
There's only one way to figure out, roll it out and see what happens. Because if it does turn into a problem immediately, they're going to take notice of that.
Yeah.
And because so many businesses will complain if that's the case, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So either they're going to have to roll it back, or better yet, or not better, or maybe they'll just double down on it altogether, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? It's a very interesting feature. Let's put it that way. And there's you
Yeah, it
just
could
got to
just
wait
be a
it out.
test. They could just be testing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one way to figure it out, and
Yeah.
wait and see.
I don't think it's
right?
gonna go smooth. I think it's gonna be shitty.
I think it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary because you could just leave comments, and that's what we should do. Is just leave fucking biased actual opinions in the comment section and just call it a day.
Do you see that one? I saw this one. I think this one thing on Twitter where it was like, someone left a review of a
Mhm.
restaurant, and they're like, "Yeah, I got stabbed here. Food was really good. I was with my girlfriend. Got stabbed. Would definitely consider coming back here again."
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, what the?
I was like, yeah.
That's the
I saw
point where
that.
you want to be at, where your food is that good.
That is insane, dude.
The falafel was
Dude,
unreal.
Oh,
bro, if you go down, I've been through a Yelp loophole before where you look up like stupid businesses and then just look up like 1-star reviews, right? A lot of them are so funny, especially when the owner responds back.
oh my God.
Oh,
They'd
Lord.
be like, I fucking first of all couldn't find parking. Second of all, one of the guys didn't even say welcome at the front, and then that was already a shitty start. And then they didn't have my size, so then I asked if they had more in the back, and they denied me service, and then I had to ask someone else, and then they said that we can order it, but I don't want to order it because I need it now, and shit like that. All right, and then the manager would like respond, and be like, "Hi, wishing you a very lovely day. Just wanted to say that this did not happen, and
This did not
I was
happen."
there, and I was the one that that helped you, and blah 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 blah. You didn't even know I was the owner. That's the trick, you know, like all the shit.
Well, thank you for stopping by, Karen.
Yeah, just
That's
like-
the trick.
if you did not like my service, I would just like to tell you, just don't ever come back again. Thank you so much. That's it. Like shit like
Very
that. And I'm
classy.
like, damn, you know, like
Now, what's also funny,
r/roasted boy.
something
Slash
also about
roast.
Yelp, because we're talking about like the managers or the owners getting involved. A great way to tell if you don't want to eat somewhere is read the owners or the managers' reviews.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes managers where it's like, for instance, this one review that I saw was, I forget what the place was, but this person was like, I ate here, and the food was like really bad. I got like a hair in my salad, and the steak that I ordered was just like completely well done, even though I asked for medium
Yeah.
rare or whatever. And the manager came to talk to us, and he was so rude. Like he said, no, you're wrong, and all this stuff. And then the owner hopped on, and he's like, "No, our manager was right. You're a piece of shit customer." Like all this
my
other, just
God.
going in on them.
I
and you're
love
like-
that. I fucking love that.
Now, sometimes it's warranted, right?
Yeah.
Like I've had customers come in and say, if they get ahi, right,
Mm-hmm.
you tell them beforehand it's seared, so it's raw in the middle, and there's like just the edges are cooked.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, great, I love it that way. It's my favorite." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So you put it in, the food comes out, they get it, take one bite into it, and then immediately walk back up to me.
Yeah.
In this case, I was actually helping a customer,
Okay.
a different one. And the person like just stepped in front of the customer I was helping and put the food like on the counter and was like, "What is this?" I said, "Excuse me? Like what's the problem?"
That's exactly what
And
you
they
asked
said,
for.
"I asked for my ahi seared, not raw." And I was like, "That's what seared means, ma'am."
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, "No, it isn't. I know what it is. The customer's always right." And
Oh my God, she actually said that.
It's
Yeah.
like, not in this
Oh.
case, woman.
and I was like, "Okay, ma'am." I said, "I can have the fish taken to the back and cooked a little bit more for you." And
Yeah.
she was like, "That's
So
all I fucking wanted," and
that'd
then
be
just
funny.
dipped. I didn't even know where she was sitting. She just
Yeah.
left.
You
And I
see
was
that?
like,
That's a raging
Bruh,
cunt right
that'd
there.
be funny. I could take your fish and take it to the back.
yeah,
Just
just
then you leave the fish there and you take her legs.
Jesus.
I'm kidding.
Take her legs.
Christ, Thomas Shelby.
He's been watching too much Peaky Blinders.
Too much Peaky
Fool.
Blinders.
Where the oh, dude, I ordered one of their hoodies, and then it says to track your fucking order.
Your fucking order. Does it actually?
I swear to God, dude. Track your fucking order.
Thomas
Oh, yeah.
Shelby.
That's down.
But
yeah,
took the fish to the back.
yeah.
I said, "Hey, she doesn't want it fully cooked, just seared a little bit more." And they're like, "Okay." So still a little bit raw in the center,
Okay.
right? Took it back to her. I stood by the table just to see how if she would approve or not.
Mm.
Just cut into it and saw like that little bit of raw in the center. And she was like, "This is fucking ridiculous." She said, "I said seared, not raw." And I was like, "Okay." So I took it to the back and I said, "Hey, cook this through so goddamn much to the point where you essentially ruined this piece of fish and then give it back to me." And the guys were like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "I'm not joking."
Yeah.
I said, "I want it to be on the cusp of burnt." And they were
God
like,
damn.
"Okay."
On the cusp of burn.
And so I got it. They gave me the fish back. Horrible. By the way, if you're cooking ahi
Mhm.
and you just cook it the whole way through, it, in my opinion, it's kind of ruined. Like
Yeah.
you just ruined the fish entirely. So I take the fish back to her, and she's like, "Oh, now you understand." She's like, "So do you get what seared means now?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh my
"Yes."
It'd be like, next time, ma'am, for future reference, just say, "Burn it the fuck up," because that's exactly what I did.
I was like, "Yes, ma'am. I'm fully aware of what that means now."
Yeah.
And the husband was just there like sighing the
damn.
whole time.
She's like, "You enjoying your ashy ass?"
Should have
fish, babe?"
divorced her 5 years ago.
Oh God damn, that's what he's thinking. all he did was let
Because
let some
look,
breath
listen,
out.
if she's making that into a big fucking deal, what else is she making into a big deal? What would it be like to live with a woman like that?
I ask that question all the time.
Or a man for that matter.
And it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen husbands just completely bankroll wives, and in more recently I've seen a lot more wives bankroll husbands.
Mhm.
Like for example, I was helping out this Asian couple. Last story I'm going to tell about work. I was helping out this Asian couple, and the husband was like the nicest dude. The nicest guy. He's like, "Hey man, like how's it going?" He tried to dap me up during COVID. He's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Sorry." I'm like, "It's COVID reasons. We're not allowed to." He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry." Like he tried to go like
Yeah.
that. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this." And then his wife came in with his daughter. The daughter didn't say anything, but the wife came in. She's like, "Did you get my poke bowl?" I was like, "What?" Or no, he was like,
What?
I was not what. I was like, "Damn, that was like really aggressive."
Yeah.
In my mind. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it." And she's like, "Let me see." And so I gave her the ticket back, and she like took it out of my hands, like just yanked it, looked at it, and she's like, "Are you fucking stupid?"
Oh my
Like looked at her
God,
husband,
dude.
said that right in front of me. I was like, "Whoa."
Boy, bro, I would grab her arm, go straight home, and we're gonna handle this shit right now.
I was like, "Whoa."
You know,
No one-
you know
no
what
one
I
talks to anyone like
enjoy?
that. What the
You know what
hell?
I enjoy about small family businesses?
What?
you have the complete right to just tell somebody to fuck off.
Yeah, literally.
I've had that experience. I was given that power. It feels great.
Oh, okay.
I was
When
like,
it's
I thought
justified.
you've had that experience as in you were the
No,
customer.
no. When it's justified, when it's
Get the
justified,
fuck out!
you can tell people, listen, you don't have to be rude to me. Get the fuck out of here, please.
Yeah.
but she wasn't being rude to me yet, right? The yanking of the order, that I can overlook that. That's whatever, right?
Yeah.
But when she's like, "Are you fucking stupid?" And then he was like, "What? Like, I thought I got everything you wanted." And then
Yeah.
she was like, "This isn't even close to what I wanted." She's like, "I wanted the salmon pokey."
Yeah.
And I said, "Ma'am, I apologize, but we don't have the salmon pokey." And then she just went like, "You don't have the salmon pokey?" And I was like, "No, there's a big sign out front, and we haven't had it for months, actually."
Yeah.
She was like, she just breathed in like angrily, just
Channeling her Karen energy.
just so pissed. And she's like, "I guess I'll have to settle for that other shit," and then tossed the order at me. And then we were trying to order, and she just couldn't like figure out everything that she wanted. Like she kept changing it every time I read it back to her.
Yeah.
And finally we got it. And then she walked out with the daughter. And he's like, "Oh, wait, by the way, can I the husband says, "Can I get just like 2 beers?" I'm like, "What do you want?" He's like, two light beers. Do you have like a Corona Light or like a Kirin or something like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got you." So I grabbed him 2 Corona Lights, got him the beers. The wife saw that I grabbed 2 Coronas. She came storming in. She's like, "I didn't want a fucking beer."
Smashes the bottle.
She's like, "I didn't want a beer. I wanted a fucking whatever, Sauvignon Blanc." She's like, "Can you not get anything right?" And then just left again. And he just,
how do these people live their lives?
Bro, I don't know. They don't know how to stand or say no. What
They don't
the
have
hell?
basic manners.
and
No,
s-
it's not even that, bro. The fact that she's doing that means that she's progressed over time, becoming worse and worse and worse. That means that he had never stopped it.
yeah,
from the
because you
beginning.
don't.
I agree that he's most likely a doormat.
Yeah, he's a doormat,
scenario.
simp ass motherfucking doormat, bro.
But I will say
the
this.
simpest doormat.
I will say this.
Yeah.
At the end of the order, once she was outside, I got the drinks right, all the food was correct. He was like, "I just want to say thank you for handling that so well."
Yeah.
He's like, "That was very professional of
Classy
you."
man.
I was like, "You know what? Thank you."
Yeah.
I said, "I appreciate the compliment." And
Divorce her.
Wait,
Wait,
that's-
wait, hold on. Maybe he wanted to divorce her deep down, but he wouldn't do it because of kids.
that's what I was thinking.
That's respect.
yeah,
that's
that's
just
what I
like,
was
all
thinking.
right.
I mean, listen, if those
You know what?
interactions are going on in front of your kids, that's
Yeah.
Because
it's a
the kid,
disaster.
well, I
Yeah.
say kids, but like she was like probably 11 or 12.
even then,
Still
even then.
a kid, you know.
Yeah.
But
Like, what are you teaching your kids about a relationship?
I know, right?
About love, quote unquote love.
He was really cool though. He didn't even have that big of an order. Like in total, it was probably, this is a lot of money, but for a family of 3 at this restaurant, it's like fairly average for what they were ordering. It was like $45, $50.
Mhm.
He left me like a $15 tip. He was like, "Thank you, I appreciate
That's
that."
down.
He's like, "Thanks for all the help."
I feel bad for that guy, dude.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I kind of don't because you are in charge of changing that.
yeah.
Whether it's divorce or not.
Men receive women can receive some sympathy, but men don't get as much. Just
But-
the way it is.
Yeah, but
That's just
that's the thing. Hot topic these days is actually verbal abuse.
I thought you were gonna say emo clothing.
Emo
Emo
clothing.
clothing.
Hot topic.
Yeah, hot topic.
You are a clever
Oh my
one,
god, I
huh?
haven't heard that in forever.
Bunch of anime shit now. That's all
Yeah,
hot topic. is.
Pretty much, dude.
Which
What
But
about verbal
abuse, dude? That thing, that is kind of, it damages my heart to think about because it's just
yeah.
if you really grasp the situation, it's kind of like imagine someone being the love of your fucking life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are supposed to be meant for each other, but this
So-
shit is sliding
So you
and
think.
happening.
So yeah, so you think.
But I mean, it's really unpleasant when it comes from any party, whether it's the husband, wife,
Yeah,
or kids.
I'm saying even if
like-
it were to happen, like let's just say I fucking insulted you one day, and then you insult me, like yeah,
I'm
we'll
insulted
take,
right now.
Well, yeah,
Maybe you should write a Yelp
maybe you should
review
add a
on
little pepper, dog.
he
He just got that. Anyway, I love to laugh, but at the same time, there's sometimes like these fucking topics that come up where it's just like, dude, verbal abuse. That's messed up, bro.
You know what's the worst thing about it is that it's most likely going to come from people who are close to you,
Yeah,
That's true.
you're right.
not strangers. Okay, a stranger who abuses you verbally, sure, but when it's likely going to come
Yeah.
from mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but like a significant other, that's kind of that must hit home, dude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucked
Especially
up.
like what the hell happened?
Where did we go wrong?
We're supposed to love each other, and this is how I fucking get treated.
I feel like a lot of relationships are just like kind of formed out of complacency nowadays.
it's very true.
Like people just get comfortable with how the other is acting,
Yeah.
whether it be good or bad, or whether it be, or let's just say bad in this instance, and they stick with it because they're afraid they can't find anybody else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, there's like a lot of shit where this comes from both parties. It's like you'll never find anybody better, or like you'll never find anybody other than me, right? And
Yeah.
so they're like, oh, you're right, I
Yeah.
can't.
Like respect and manners are just out the window
Exactly.
because they get so comfortable. How would you even let yourself get to that point?
Complacency.
Yeah. Exactly.
How do people become fat? How do people become poor or stay poor? Complacency.
Well, no, that one's up for debate. The poor one, the fat one, you might have a glandular problem, but
Yeah, I'm generalizing.
that's on
of
a
course,
Yeah.
that's a rarer basis.
Yeah.
but generalizations. Of
Yeah.
course.
I don't like generalization.
Yeah.
I try not to as much. I do it every now and then, but I try my best.
Well, when you're
not
speaking to
I,
thousands of
I
millions,
feel
of
like it's
people,
when you
like,
stop trying.
to. It's a
Like you already sealed the deal, so you just stop trying. That's
you're
it.
right. Yeah.
That's not the marriage is not the end of it.
No.
Okay. There's
That's
no
a
there's
huge problem.
yeah. But that's what people that's kind of the pattern I'm noticing is that people lock it down and then after the honeymoon phase,
Yeah.
just fucking straight
2 years
comfort.
later, they're
I don't give
But
a
it's like
overweight.
here's another thing. You don't need to marry somebody like right away. And right away is the 2 to 4 year bracket in my opinion.
Mhm.
That's a long time, 2 to 4 years. But in the span of how long you're going to be married to them, if you want to go forever, that's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you're really going for the forever route, which is usually the goal with marriage, I mean, that could be a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 year long marriage
Mhm.
relationship you got going on.
Yeah.
So why are you going to base that off of just 2 to 4 years of that entire relationship? That's such a tiny amount
Yeah.
in the grand
Considering
scheme
the
of it.
rest of your life.
At the same time, you have to think about, for example, arranged marriages. There are actually a lot of successful arranged marriages.
That is true.
Like they know
Mhm.
they know each other for months, if that,
Sometimes minutes before.
minutes, and for some reason they stick with each other for 50, 60,
Yeah.
70
And that's
years.
I think that's mainly because there has to be a select party that knows you and knows them. And they can see from such a clear perspective whether or not this would work.
But it also might be a cultural
Knowing them and
thing.
knowing you.
That might be a cultural thing, and there might be religious reasons tied into it. It's a good question.
They
Yeah.
feel like they can't get out, maybe. So then they just go.
No,
with
I
it.
don't. I don't think so.
No, there's
Not
all-
okay,
not
not
all arranged
necessarily.
marriages.
There's arranged marriage and there's forced marriage. Forced
Yeah.
marriage, no one should be on board with.
But a lot of arranged marriages usually are stemmed from forced
Yeah.
marriages.
How
I
many?
feel.
What percentage?
Because I mean, an arranged marriage is essentially
Yeah,
a forced marriage.
Well, it's still arranged, even if it's like, let's just say, some guy had a daughter that he wanted to marry off, but he's very protective of her, right?
Mhm.
And then she says, I don't know. She's hesitant, so she's leaning on no. But then he's like, all right, I'll give you time to think about it. And then every day he just says a fucking quote or a word for like 3 months to try to convince her that marriage is good. And then she's like, all right, let's see. And then she goes on board, and then it ends up working out. Now, that is kind of forced because you did kind of just go out of your way to like fucking.
But it's forced in the sense that she didn't have a choice to pick who it is.
Yeah.
Like the partner was forced upon her, and that's what an arranged marriage is. You're
Yeah.
being forced into this relationship, whether you like it or not. Really.
No, well, it's not really whether you like it or not because someone can end up liking it. I know a lot of people that have.
But no, that's
They were just like-
after the fact. I mean, before, because before the marriage, you don't know if you like this person or not. So
it's more of the principle. Like you're basically outsourcing.
Are you talking about like a quick arranged marriage? Like, hey, what do you think? Like,
no. There could be arranged marriages that happen years in advance. Like theoretically, you could say, "Oh, these 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
We want to merge these families together for
Mhm.
whatever reasons."
yeah,
And when they turn 18 or 20 or whatever, then they'll get married.
I mean,
I feel like that's a pretty common
Yeah.
theme with arranged marriages, if
But-
I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but like,
Not 50-50, but
70-30.
yeah,
Sometimes
still common.
yeah, it's still
Yeah.
common and it works a lot, and it's been proven to be kind of successful. I wouldn't say all the time, but you know,
I'm not an advocate for arranged
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah,
is what
I'm
trying
not
to say.
either.
We're not trying to say
take your
if you get-
take your time,
Yeah,
find someone
please.
special, please connect, please communicate,
Yeah.
fucking respect the other.
take at least five 5 to 6 years minimum.
Yeah,
For God's sake,
minimum.
don't let your parents decide who you want to marry.
Yeah.
Don't.
Wait, not don't.
No,
But, like,
I am not a fan
Take
of
it into consideration, but at the same time, you know yourself and you know your heart, and follow your heart. That's it. Simple.
Mm.
You know, it raises a lot of questions,
Mhm.
just like the questions you guys asked us, and we have a few
Ah.
that are loaded up,
Five. Q&A.
ready to go. It's time for the 2 a.m. podcast, episode 55 Q&A.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's look at this.
All right. So
He's gonna pick them, so.
I know. I want him to pick him.
should we just start? Should I just go down the list of what's like good questions?
Let's do
See what intrigues you.
the questions
a lot of
that are
questions.
related together,
Okay.
and then we'll do it randomly after that, depending on how long you guys want to do each one.
Okay. Well, should we just start with all the, I guess, political
Sure.
questions first?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just
sure,
so
I'm
we
not
can
gonna-
end on a little bit more, hopefully, of a lighter note.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
All right. So, should we say the names of the people who asked?
Yeah.
All right. This one comes from Sean Meister. What's up, buddy? How you
the
doing?
maestro.
The maestro.
The maestro.
He says, or he asks, who are you guys voting for?
Would
So-
you like to start?
So, who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Thomas Shelby because I don't agree with either side. But
And this is not
and if I want to be completely truthful, I just want Trump out. That's it.
okay.
That concludes
Fair
my
enough.
fucking answer.
All right. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna say an answer that'll probably make a lot of people upset,
Mhm.
just because one party's gonna say you're wasting or both people would say you're wasting your vote. But in California, like if I wanted to vote for Trump, which I do not, but if I wanted to, what does that matter? It's a blue state. They're all gonna go towards Biden. Like that's just how it is, right? And I don't want to vote for Biden either, because I don't like Biden or Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
I don't really like Trump or Pence either.
it's
So I'm voting for the only option in my mind that the Democrats should have picked.
Harambe.
No.
Harambe.
No, she was clearly the best option. We've talked about her a few times on the podcast, but
The Tulsi Gabbard.
there you go. She is by far, in my opinion, the
perfect
best candidate.
The best candidate, not perfect. Yeah,
Not perfect, but the best.
Okay.
She's intelligent.
Considering our options, right?
Yes,
Okay.
she's intelligent. And I don't get why the Democrats picked her. The only clear reason is that she doesn't 100% stand on their side, and that freaks them out, right?
God
Yeah.
forbid.
So she's intelligent. She's a free thinker. She thinks for herself rather than takes the opinions of a side and just rolls with it outright,
She
right?
was on the JRE.
She's biracial. I keep saying she's a woman. She's a veteran. She served her country.
God damn.
She was hands down the best candidate. She's like American as it gets
Yeah.
in my mind. Like a great American as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
And they were just like, "Nah, we're going to go with this option that makes no fucking sense." We're going to go, okay, so what do these voters not like? Old white men. Who are we going to pick? An old white
man.
guy.
Yeah.
All right, and by the way, he has a hard time speaking properly. His brain's starting to slip a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Starting.
It's not a secret. Everybody knows. They made fun of it on fucking Saturday Night Live.
It's been slipping for
Yeah.
a minute
We know.
now.
Like, it's obvious that
Yeah.
people know.
Yeah.
And they're still going to vote for him. He has a lot of problems with racist shit in the past, same with Trump. But, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that he has said that I'm not a fan of in the past. And that's not politics. That's just his stance, per se, on
Yeah. I get you.
whatever it is. Kamala Harris, I think, is a joke outright. Like, we've already discussed her in depth
Yeah,
on this
yeah.
podcast. I don't need to go into her situation. But I'll just say one thing about her that cracks me up.
Mhm.
And it was how she just blatantly called Biden a racist multiple times in debates. And then when she was pressed about it later, she was like, we all say crazy things in the debate. You're his vice president candidate.
Yeah. Well, she
And
has
you're just gonna call, or you're gonna essentially just roll off the fact that you called him racist multiple times outright.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're okay with a guy that's racist, is
Yeah.
what you're saying, and you're black.
She has.
So what the fuck is
yeah,
this?
She has 3 personalities, dude.
Yeah, it's like
She has one at home that's personal, and then she has the one that's in house, and then she has one that sits on the flab of her chin.
It just it's just
You guys saw those
Taking
memes?
low blows now.
like my quote of the quote of the year for me is we live in the twilight zone
yeah.
because nothing makes sense,
Yep.
at least in terms of American
No,
politics
dude, we live in a
anymore.
Nolan movie. That's
Yeah,
what
it's just insanity.
And at the
So-
same time, I'm still amazed that I get shit for saying that I don't want to vote at all. I've never voted. I never will vote because I just don't give a shit. And
Well,
it doesn't impact my
No,
life
okay,
now
okay.
here's-
Hold the
whatsoever.
fuck on.
Wait
Hold
a
the fuck
second,
on.
wait a
I
second.
just want to mention that don't say you will never vote because you still have a whole life ahead of you.
Sure,
Yeah,
I
you
can
never
see your
know.
point there, but I'm confident in my stance right
Well,
now.
when
Okay,
you
but as
say-
of right now, I don't blame you because this is a shit show.
Well, I
Listen,
was
even
gonna-
even if I vote for the most, like, let's say I vote for what's her name, Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay.
How is that going to change my life personally at all?
Bro, don't think
No,
about
here's-
it like that.
here's a-
Do you care about the country or not? If you don't care about the country, that's fine.
Even then,
Yeah.
in my
Don't
opinion,
vote.
it makes no difference because it always shifts from Democrat to Republican.
Yes, but you have to look at it in the long term. We're talking about the fucking representatives that are going to come out in 10 years, 12 years, 14 years. We need to build a trend where it's not going through fucking fame anymore. It's not
Okay,
going through
I can see-
billionaires
I
and
can see
old
the
white
point.
guys.
I can
You
see the
feel me?
point.
I mean, also
That's the whole point of it.
Also, I used to be on your side. I used to think that voting, in a sense, at least how we do it nowadays, is essentially worthless. But then I kind of had a thought: what about local shit
Mhm.
that actually does affect you? Local tax rates,
I'm
how
not the same.
how sanitary is handled, how education is handled in your
Mhm,
neighborhood.
mhm,
Yeah.
Like that shit 100% matters to you because that's where you fucking live.
mhm.
Yeah.
That is your homestead.
like-
you want the best for
You want
your
a good
home.
water system. You want like, you
Exactly.
want things that are gonna benefit human beings, dude. Because I legit am sick of like everything being so fucking economy based. Money,
Yeah.
money, 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 money. Like it's just like, dude, relax, dog. What about our necessities? Like fucking water. Why are we still why are we still using chlorine?
Yeah, why is
When we have the
California's-
most effective light in the world? Fucking UV.
Why California itself is one of the world's biggest global economies, and we have one of the worst fucking infrastructures. Like it makes
Don't
no
know.
sense.
Yeah.
Or at least here's my broader point.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in the government to make those decisions to create a healthier society. I think more of that is going to come from private business.
Yeah.
From individuals
And
such
if
as
they
Elon
allow
Musk,
access
entrepreneurs.
to private businesses take over. People that are in the sciences and that are in the fucking fields. That's never. I
No.
don't think that's gonna happen. They're always gonna. It's gonna be.
I mean,
government
don't get me
regulated.
wrong. Listen, if I have the option for like, if Tulsi Gabbard was actually going to win,
Mhm.
sure, I'd vote for her. But she's not. She's not going to
But here's my point, at least with this election, right?
win. Mm-hmm.
If you're voting for Trump at this point, which by the way, have you seen the Supreme Court justice he's trying to get in? They're
No.
debating on overturning Roe v. Wade, so
Jeez.
overturning abortion rights. And there's a whole bunch of other crazy shit she's thinking about overturning. And that's like what you're voting for. They're also debating on getting rid of gay marriage. Like
Good luck with that.
that's on the table. It's not a guarantee, but it's on the table. And quite frankly, like I'm not opposed to marriage. I think it's kind of a crazy idea anyways,
Mhm.
realistically. Like why do you need to get married? The only reason you get married is to have kids or for a tax break.
Yeah.
Usually those go hand in hand,
Mhm.
Or
right?
it's just like a fucking showing how serious you are
Yeah, exactly.
physically.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're like I'm willing to dedicate my life to you.
Yeah,
So that's
There
why
you
we're
go.
doing this.
Yeah, this
you know?
resembles that.
And vice versa. Like we're gonna dedicate our lives to each other and making sure we get the best for each other, right?
Wait, with the vows and in the bedroom. wait, wrong finger. Anyway,
My anyways,
continue. Sorry, I don't
But
know why
my
I had to
point
say
is-
that.
you're voting for that,
Mhm.
right? And I get that. And then you're on the other side where it's like, are you voting for these air quote marginal tax increases? For example, if you make over $1 million, you're gonna take home like 380,000 of that if you're voting for Biden,
Yeah.
which would raise the question: why the fuck would anybody who makes $1 million even want to live in the United States
Mhm.
or California rather? So they're gonna move out, and that kills industry in California, and that's a whole nother debate. And
Yeah.
they're like, rich people don't pay their taxes anyways. That's not entirely true. Not majority, a huge portion of our tax revenue comes from wealthy individuals, not businesses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because we, for some reason, and this is a whole nother topic. This is like oh my God, I'm going off the rails right now.
Mhm.
Because this shit has been bothering me. And I'll start with this word.
What?
Let's keep it short.
Lobbyists.
Lobbyists. Okay.
Why the fuck are lobbyists
Yeah, it's a
allowed?
huge problem.
We act like they're not supposed to be a thing, but they totally happen.
They run the entire fucking country.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, these lobbyists, like, they don't really do that much. They do a lot. They do a lot in terms of how things are influenced. For example, energy. Who has the most fucking money? Coal, oil, and gasoline companies. They're throwing lobbyists and shit tons of money every year to make sure that the government keeps pushing coal, keeps pushing gas, keeps pushing whatever, right? Now, there's a whole nother problem where if you get rid of those industries, you're going to lose a lot of jobs. That's true. However, you could train those people in those industries to go work in electric. And in fact, they already have an insight on how to build infrastructures, how to build all that shit, and they could be trained to do all that. And then they would make more money.
Yeah.
The average salary for somebody working in renewable energy is higher than somebody working in coal or oil. So it's like, what are we doing? You have to like ask all these questions.
Yeah, the same applies to big food as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole bunch of problems with our government system.
No, I get it.
But voting is important.
Voting is important.
I'm voting for myself.
And I think it's more about the principle rather than the actual action of fucking voting. Because
Well, sure, but I
like
mean,
we all have that thought, right? Where it's just like, why the fuck would my vote even count? I'm nothing.
it's not like I come
it's
from
just
it from
like-
the perspective of like, oh, it's nihilistic, it's gonna all be shit.
Yeah.
It's more of just like, listen, I'm gonna focus on myself at the end of the day. By becoming a better person, I'll have a much bigger impact than whatever the fuck my vote goes towards.
Like the way I think about it now is I want the best for my country. I want the best for my community. And so in order to do that, as an American, we're lucky enough to even have the right to vote.
Yeah.
When in a lot of countries or some countries, they don't even get that option. It's just you get what the fuck you get.
Well,
So I feel like I feel as if it's my duty to go out and try to do the best, or what I feel as if the best is for my entire community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People around me, and even people on the other side of the country I don't even see or hear about or listen to their farts. Like, I want the best for them.
yeah, it's like
Because
you
we're
want people
all
to
in this
know
shit together.
that no matter what, I got your back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all in this
that's
together.
usually how I live. It's kind of
Mhm.
cool.
And so
You know, whether I get something back or not, I'm still gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Because at the end of the day, if I get faced with like an issue, I'm just gonna be like, well, I did go out of my way and I did vote.
Yeah.
So now it's out of my hands.
Oh, by the way, forgot to mention this. This shit drove me insane when I read the reports on this. For taxes on wealthy businesses, like the top 18 paid $0 in taxes or some shit like that in the United States. So we gave them those tax cuts entirely, and then on top of that, the government subsidizes some of their work. So now, not only are they not paying taxes, they're taking money from the taxpayers and putting it into their pockets to help build more profit, which is insanity.
Oh my god! What did I tell you, bro?
How the
Money.
How the fuck did that happen?
Paul Check said it best. We don't have a White House. We have a corporate headquarters.
It's true.
It's true.
Yep. That's 100% true.
But
Anyway.
long story short, I know if I vote for Tulsi Gabbard,
Yeah.
people will say your vote is wasted.
Yeah.
But as an American, I'm voting for what I feel is the best. So that's why I'm choosing Tulsi Gabbard,
Respect.
whether she
Exactly.
wins or not.
Respect.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the second question.
Ooh, who's this from? Who's this from? Who's this from?
This question is brought to you by
PBS.
41 Pacifica, and it asks, for something to be presented on a news channel, and what they mean by news channels like CNN, Fox News,
Probably. I'm thinking
MSNBC,
Generic news channel.
news
The
channels,
platforms
right.
that are
Channels.
destroying this
Alright.
country.
Yeah, not like a blog that claims to be a news channel, like
Yeah.
a legitimate news channel. Should it be required to be factual?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that seems like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much fake reporting that's been going on nowadays.
Yeah.
But also, that leads into his second question, and I feel like we should ask these at the same time because they go hand in hand. And the second question is, will the death of factual reporting ultimately lead to the downfall of America? And I was thinking about that a lot when I saw that question.
Yeah. And
Right.
Sorry. Repeat that question.
Yes, I'll repeat it one more time. will the death of
Mhm.
factual reporting
Okay.
ultimately lead to the downfall of America?
Yes. That's what causes subdivisions and fucking divisions of people.
Yeah,
Is the misinformation, dude.
it's
And
my
then
line of thought.
yeah, and then like if a source is gonna give you like a different result than another source, right? You're just gonna be depending on where you saw it first, that's immediately what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you hop onto Facebook, you just woke up, right, crisp of morning. You hop on, you scroll once, and then you see a headline news. Depending on what source it's from, guaranteed that's gonna have influence on what you think of the fucking
Yeah,
topic.
100%.
That first thing you saw.
They're
right?
entirely different
Unless
worlds.
you go out of your way to research multiple different ones, then you're just lost in the sauce because you don't even know what to believe anymore.
You're
Lost in the
right.
sauce.
And it sucks.
But I 100% agree with you.
Mhm.
And I had to think about it a lot, actually. And fake reporting's been going on in this country since we've had newspapers.
Yeah.
People used to pay news article writers to come in and write the story exactly as they wanted to, and
Yeah.
that would get shipped out.
It's like this much for a headline. or something.
Exactly.
Like
Do you have a rebuttal to that though? Because I feel like you do. You have like a small like.
Not really, but my point is it's been going on since newspapers have been a thing.
Yeah.
And I guess the downfall has been happening slowly over time. It's a slow burn,
Mhm.
right? Because in previous years, I guess you could say factual reporting journalistic integrity, as it's called in the industry, was held to a much higher esteem than it is today.
Mhm.
Because now it's all about, can you get that fucking story out there first, whether or not we have all the facts
Yeah,
or
it's
not?
non-existent now.
And here's a quick intro into how to think about this. You got to think about news stations and everything. Everything that we see, and even the things that we can't see, like processes, for example, of like getting like a journal out or like a quick biography. Everything that is given to us is worked by human beings
Yeah,
that are just like you and me. That just
exactly.
happen to be in a specific field.
And they
So
have
people make
biases.
mistakes, dude. It's fine. I understand if Fox is going to be too quick to report something because
That's
don't even have-
that's not a mistake though.
that is a mistake. You know why? Well, it's not a mistake, but that's what news is for.
What
It's
Fox
to report as quick as possible. Everyone wants that info out, right? But that information can have a little bit of misguidance or just non-factual shit at the moment. Because in a couple hours, they're going to report again and be like, earlier today we mentioned this, but now it has drastically moved up to blah, 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 blah.
I was gonna say something about exactly what you're talking about, and that's the fact that you're allowed to edit articles.
Yeah.
They don't even put out a new one that
Yeah.
says they were wrong.
It
They
says
just change
edit.
the information.
Edit :
And by that point, even if it's an hour or two later, it's
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
That main article headline's already out there,
Yeah.
and all the information within it's out there, and that's what people
So,
read.
You got to
Nobody's
remember,
going back to reread the story.
Yeah, you got to remember that industries are always battling with rival companies.
Yeah.
Like CBS is fucking fighting with NBC all the time. They're all like, "No, we got to get the story out now." You know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the point of news
Like,
is
how do you
to
even know? Have you even confirmed the story? No, but it's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's exactly the fucking problem.
That
The foundation of mainstream media is built upon, first of all, negativity,
Mhm.
driven largely by money.
Yeah.
And just getting the news
Yeah.
story out there.
And we are, as America, we are in the inspiration and the influence of the rest of the world when it comes to media. Which is fucked up, dude. Because we made it poppin'. And then when it's poppin', but with false information, then it's just...
Will it lead to the downfall of America? I do think so. I think
it'll play a big
it
role.
will
It'll play a
speed the
big role,
process
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
We're seeing it speed up.
Kind of like global warming.
What about it?
What about
The
it?
shit we're doing today is apparently
Yeah.
speeding everything up.
You're right.
Yes.
And if we keep it up, it'll only
As they
speed up
say.
more.
Yeah. So, good questions. Great questions
Great
to
questions,
ask.
guys. Great
Important
questions.
questions to ask. Definitely so.
Fuck CNN,
I don't
fuck
think it
Fox.
matters who I vote for, but I honestly don't know who I'm voting for. But
All right. So this is like the I guess the last
Mhm.
political question that we have,
sure.
and it's from Ashur M.
Okay.
And it says, what are your thoughts in the Israeli/Palestinian conflict, and what is the solution?
Oh
Ooh,
my
big
gosh.
question.
That's a really big question.
The last
an
question is a
enormous
huge
question.
question. What is the solution?
Yeah, that's the biggest question.
Oh my god, this can go so many routes.
This could
and it
be a,
can
this could
spark
be a
so-
podcast in of
Yeah,
itself.
let's make
literally.
sure to make
and
it
this will
short.
spark heat for sure. I know
Yeah.
100%. If you've seen any video about this debate,
Yeah, 100%.
It's a
sparks heat.
dividing topic.
Yep.
100%.
100%. Like we will no longer be the 2 a.m. podcast. So therefore, we're not gonna answer. No, I'm kidding. But I don't think there's a solution because
It's been going on for
primarily I feel like it just imagine I'm a hard-headed person
Mhm.
butting heads with a hard-headed person.
Mhm.
You're not gonna go anywhere. All right.
It's
Let's do peace. I don't want to do peace. Okay, let's not do peace.
It's like throwing a boulder at a boulder. They're both going to crumble at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you know?
But I have a rebuttal.
Mm.
Because I remember seeing there was this documentary called Human, and
Human.
they basically they went around the world, interviewed people from different regions of the planet, and on one of them they put together both a Palestinian perspective and an Israeli perspective, both fathers who have lost their children to the actual conflict.
Mhm.
And
Interesting.
surprisingly to most people, this might be a surprise, but both fathers said, you know, why are we fighting at the end of the day? Because they understood that hate breeds more of the same. And I think the Palestinian father said something really striking to me, at least, which was, even though my daughter was killed because of, I guess, Israeli soldiers, why do I have to spread more of, why do I have to feel bitter about that and just cause the same pain for somebody else on the other side? So they understood that, you know, even though it sounds airy-fairy, that love is the solution.
Yeah.
You have to get together and figure out what the fuck you're going to do about it.
Yeah. It's a tricky debate.
You can't just
It's a tricky debate because you're facing communities within Palestine as well that are
Mhm.
very religious motivated.
Yeah.
Religion motivated. So like imagine in your religion it says that Palestine will be free. And then you feel like you're in the land and you're a part of it and it's up to you to fucking make it free. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're going to fight your ass off, you know? And you got to remember that those people are basically in prison. They don't see any outside
It's a
perspective.
terrible
It's a
situation.
shitty situation.
But at the same time, okay, you're driven by ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to live in a war zone for the rest of your fucking life?
They're
Do you want your
divided.
children?
In Palestine? They are divided. There's going to be the people that are that have literally Israeli like documents,
Mm-hmm.
like they're Palestinian, but the Israel, whatever, was just like, come through, we'll hook you guys up. You know, just live like us. You'll be Palestinian, but you live on the outskirts. You know what I mean? And then there's the other ones where it's just like they're like villagers and just like inside Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They'll be like, look at these fucking traitors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
So it's kind of like, dude, it's a people versus Israel.
Let me ask.
It's just
Can I
it's,
just
it's
need
a
to
hectic
ask this,
situation.
because I've heard so many things about the conflict, but is it essentially just an argument over land?
Essentially.
Yes,
Like what it really breaks down, like the core of it, it's like we want this piece of land, and then the other side's like, no, we like want this piece
Dating
of land
back
because
to
we
fucking-
just
No,
it's part of our religion, or like it's a holy piece to us, like this piece of
That's
land.
essentially what they're fighting over.
yes, but it's
So my
much
point-
more deeper than that. It's kind of like,
Well, explain. Like, let me
I get it. You're
it's kind of like,
enlighten me.
okay, remember Britain was fucking
shout
up
out to
every
Britain
country,
for
right?
fucking
The
ruining
back in the
primary
day.
exports are
Yeah.
What is it? Good lord, constitutions.
Yeah, they were like the the center dividers for
Mhm.
everything.
God.
So what's it called? They set out to give that land to Israel, right? Or whatever, the Jews. And you know, going in there, killing, taking homes and things like that.
Terrible.
That's not the
Mhm.
right way to do it, obviously. But
Mhm.
that happened, all right?
Yeah,
So that sparked rage,
obviously.
right? And then getting outnumbered, obviously, you're going to get killed off more.
Mhm.
So slowly they start taking more and more land up until Palestine is literally non-existent at this point, right? Because of them.
Mhm.
And yeah, dude, they basically got overthrown and just like everything taken, you know? And then they gave them little reserves of areas that are considered Palestine and
Places like the Gaza Strip,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly, where it's just, you know,
It's-
and then it gets worse, dude, because it's just like, oh, okay, you want to be a part of Palestine? We'll show you what Palestine is. Cut down electricity, fucking no water from like 4 to 6,
I know that's
Like, shit,
definitely
like-
awful. I get that.
Yeah.
I
That's
totally
terrible.
understand that.
Yeah.
But a major gripe that I have with this conflict is
Mhm.
that both sides want to be the fucking victim. And they will hold on to that until the day they fucking die.
I think one side is definitely more
You can
of
argue
a
that
victim.
one side is more victimized, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the broader perspective. 100 years from now, you're just going to be in the same conflict if you don't. If you keep playing the victim card, the same shit's gonna happen. It's just that
Well,
simple.
Okay.
The way I'm
On
looking,
both sides.
The way I'm looking at this, at least from an outside perspective, right? Because I don't have family or relations or connections over in Palestine or
Mhm.
Israel, right? If it's essentially like what it really boils down to, other than the Britain stuff, right? What it kind of boils down to is we're carrying the burdens created by our ancestors
Mhm.
into our modern day.
Yeah.
And we can't
Mhm.
figure out the conflict. And the conflict is over this plot of land, essentially, right? Like in a very minimalist or broken down sense. So these two sides are going to war over the land. One sounds like they're playing more defense and the other one's playing more offense. But at the end of the day, what have they done? What have they done? They've just destroyed the place that they hold sacred.
Destroyed their cultures.
It's
destroyed-
annihilated.
Yeah. Back and forth.
Palestine is just torn apart, the majority of it.
Mhm.
So like not only are you killing each other, you're now destroying the thing that you hold sacred and what you're even fighting over. So when you get to the point where either one side wins or the other side loses, everybody lost.
Yeah.
Because the thing that you
Big
hold
facts.
dear is rubble or it's shit. Or the land itself has gone to shit.
I get
So
that.
in my mind, it's like, hey, why don't we settle the differences? I get it. You don't like each other, and it's completely understandable
Yeah.
why you hate each other.
That'll never happen because the
I
only way
know.
to settle is get the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
aware. I'm aware of the hatred between the
Like,
two, but it's like,
dude, it's a really.
But I don't know. I have an
It's a
issue with
very
saying that'll
tricky-
never happen
Bro,
because
but it's like,
think about it. This right here, this has been going on for 64 years, dog.
yeah,
This whole there's no clear answer.
hmm
All right, it's just basically someone came in, took their shit, and then they're just asking them to get the fuck out. But then now both are just fighting.
I
And
have
fighting with killing.
I have a theory,
Mhm.
or it may be an answer. It's a maybe answer,
Okay.
right? And it's one that Palestinians that are on the side of get the fuck out will disagree with, and the Israelis will just disagree because they don't want to live among the Palestinians. Put the differences aside.
Mhm.
This is the Holy Land, whether you're Jewish or is it Muslim in this instance for Palestinians?
No, it's Palestinian. What,
What's
Jewish?
the religion?
Well, religions, yeah.
I guess
Or
Muslims.
Islam, right?
Muslims.
Yeah.
So it's both sacred to you.
Mhm.
Just like there's a lot of spots in the Middle East that are sacred to multiple religions because even back in the fucking dawn of time, there was multiple religions that were at those, or not at the dawn of religions, I guess you could say. There was multiple religions coinciding,
Yes.
living together in those areas. And yeah, it's going to be sacred for all parties. Why can't you do that? How did we regress so far that we're just killing each other, yet our ancestors back in the day used to be able to live side by side with each other?
Yeah.
It's
What really pisses me off is that why till this day Palestinians are not recognized as documented human beings.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's fucked up because they
it's
can't
fucked
even
up and weird.
because
like,
even if they have that thought of leaving and fleeing to another country, they can't.
yeah,
They have no documentation. There's
Mm-hmm.
no fucking. They're not even allowed at the airport. You have to
Mhm.
literally cross either not bridges, bro, literally deserts by foot or underground tunnels.
it's definitely a fucked situation.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And all that so that you can flee to another country as an alien,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can go file to be documented under a different fucking country, so you can finally maneuver your way around the world.
Mhm.
But
That's messed up.
Here's I'm trying to get to the solution.
Yeah.
And you're right, and that plays a part in what I was going to say. So, you want this land, the Israelis, right?
Yeah.
And the Palestinians, right? But you also said there's a good amount of Palestinians that are like, you know what? This shit ain't worth it. We just want to leave.
Yeah, but
We
let's
don't
just
even
say-
want to be here.
Let's
But
just say I
you're-
wanted to be a good Muslim and just
Mhm.
be like, you know what? I'm giving it to you.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
So my point is,
you know what? God will deal with it later.
Why are the Israelis
I'll be
so
rewarded,
insistent on
for
just
example.
keeping them there, or not Israeli, just whatever?
But that's
decided.
not even an option. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why isn't it an option? You want the land, let the people leave if they want to leave. You don't have to kill them. Just let them go.
You also have to take a historical perspective because at the same
It's
time,
historical,
why
it's
did
cultural.
why did
and you
they?
got to remember that we hold on to culture deep in our
I'm-
fucking hearts.
I know.
Why-
So, and I'm
even
like,
I can't grasp that. I'm a Palestinian, but I was born here. You know?
Yeah.
I can't grasp that as fully as they can. Right.
Mhm.
So that's why when we talk about this stuff, it doesn't really go anywhere because we.
But here's the
Why-
thing: I'm
why
trying
were
to
they-
give solutions, and you're just like outright no.
no,
Just
I'm
no.
not
Listen,
saying
listen.
no. I'm just saying.
But
like,
you kind of are.
I'm
Like,
just-
and I'm
I'm
not
just
trying to call you out. I'm just saying, like,
filling in the spaces.
yeah, from the Palestinian perspective, if you even try to offer a solution, or Israeli as well, they're just like, no, it has to be
because
this way.
it's
But it
driven
doesn't.
by hate.
I
That's
know.
why. It's
But
driven
my
by
point,
hate.
but he's like, there's people that want to leave, and let's say hypothetically the Israelis want the land, let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go. It's less people. It's less people that you're gonna have to end up killing at the end of the day, because that's the only way the conflict is going.
Yeah.
They get to live a happy life somewhere outside of the land, wherever they can. They can establish a place of residence, and just less people die.
Yeah.
And so you can have that as part of the solution. Next, another option. Okay, I know historically things were fucked.
Mhm.
I can get that, and I understand, or not. I can try to understand the hatred between the two.
Yeah.
Right. But in also another historical context, an even older one, as I said earlier, they were all living together, and there weren't nearly as many problems.
Mhm.
So, why don't you look back to the origins of the religion, the true roots, and be like, okay, we need to figure this shit out. We can't keep having kids getting picked off by snipers in towers. We can't keep having families die in this war, or family members die in this war. Like, it's just, the human life loss is too much.
Mhm.
Every day, every week, every month, every year.
Yeah. At random.
So, here's another solution. Our land has been destroyed
Mhm.
in this conflict. We're not, I'm saying our, not from my perspective, but from everybody's, Palestinian, Israeli. So, and this is coming from a dude that has no say in this shit whatsoever. Keep this in mind, right? I have no connection, no say really, but like, let's make this place beautiful again.
Exactly.
Let's build it up. Let's work together. I know we hate each other. We don't like each other, but at the end of the day, we're going to stand on a pile of rubble and bodies and wonder what the fuck happened. So rather than that, why don't we just try to build it up? Right?
Mhm.
And then the Palestinians, just like any neighborhood in the United States, you're going to have the regions where it's Palestinian heavy, or it's going to be Israeli heavy, or maybe there'll be even integrated neighborhoods where they can just live amongst one another. And then you build back up. Take all the rubble out, build new buildings, clean up the space.
Yeah.
Make it a place that you both want to live in. Make it the holy land that it deserves to be rather than what it is today.
Yeah.
And listen.
Yeah.
On a broader, more esoteric level, going back to the human documentary.
Yeah.
If each person from the opposing side can learn how to transform hatred into love, fucking everyone can.
I 100% agree.
It's going to be a monumental task,
It's
but
damn near impossible.
Well, yeah. Well, think about it,
damn near
bro. If
impossible, I
the
would say.
dinosaurs could be wiped out in an instant, so can we. Now, would
that,
you rather
that was
die?
an asteroid from space, though.
I know. I'm saying, but like an asteroid from space. They were dumb animals that just got wiped the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Now, before we get wiped out, would you rather die peacefully or with hatred?
Peacefully.
There you go.
I'd rather.
Why can't we make that happen?
You rather die in the paradise rather than in the war-torn area
Yeah.
you've built over the years.
and I'm confident with newer generations coming in that the tide will start to shift.
Yeah, and that's why we just have to stay on top of our shit and just keep information alive, like good information.
Like, I'm already seeing a lot of documentaries and stuff and videos on YouTube about Israelis,
Yeah.
young Israelis and young Palestinians getting together and having a discussion, which is fucking amazing progress considering the history.
Well, dude, I remember in high school there was this Jewish kid that came up to me, and he's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Palestine," and he's like, and like at that point we were like kicking it for like a good 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was like, we're supposed to hate each other, right? And I was like, who the fuck told you that?
Who says
Who the hell told you?
No, but
Like,
you know
why
what?
is that wired in your head?
No.
it's generational?
No,
bro.
from
It's-
his
it's-
perspective, that's actually like a good thing. We're supposed to. The verbiage he uses is important in that statement. We're supposed to, but we don't.
because you're being
It's like-
taught to hate the other side.
Exactly.
Brainwashing.
Brainwashing.
It's a huge,
We're supposed to, but we're kicking it.
I feel like we need to lighten
Difficult-
up with another question.
difficult-
Oh,
yeah.
that's why I saved the nicer
God,
stuff
Listen,
for the
it's a
end.
difficult problem, but very achievable.
Yeah.
I'm
There's a lot to
confident.
talk about, dude. But there's no time for that.
So a short
So-
M. That's a big question.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for asking it.
Good
but
topic.
I don't know if we got anywhere with it, but there we go. He has a few other questions as well. Let's move on to what do you think happens in the afterlife, and which religion? I'll say it exactly how he phrased it. Which religion you wish to be true in that matter? So what happens in the afterlife, or what do you think happens in the afterlife, and which religion you wish to be true in that
I'll
matter?
answer this quickly. I don't wish any religion to be true because I don't associate myself with any of them, but that's just on a personal perspective. And what happens in the afterlife, I think the energy that I am right now gets transformed into some other energy.
All right.
That's all I have.
Saeed?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like we're all gonna be judged one by one up until you find out if you're,
Looks at me first.
if you're,
I get so much shit
if you're
from.
worthy of paradise, pretty much. And then paradise has different levels, so the greatest of the great will be at the very top. But
I'm in the position everybody hates
What?
because I say I don't know. I don't know if we turn.
Which I'm more on your end.
I don't know if
actually.
we
you're
turn
curious
in-
to find out. That's
no,
it.
I don't know if we turn into energy. I don't know if there's going to be pearly gates. I don't know whatever's going to happen in heaven
Well,
or
from-
what if there even is one, right?
Woo. Yeah.
But I feel as if people, whatever religion that they subscribe to, that's the one that they want to be true
Mhm.
because that's the one that helps them out in life, whether it makes them a better person or better yet, it just gives them comfort at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
It's your belief.
Because
If-
that's
I mean, if you've trained yourself to
Yeah,
believe something,
exactly.
That's the only
it's
thing
a,
you're
it's
gonna
a
believe.
really like, oh well, no shit, Sherlock answer, but
Duh.
it's,
Yeah, I could have just answered that.
Yeah.
I'm Muslim.
yeah, that's literally
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it, right? And that would have said everything.
Yeah,
Just do you be a good person.
Yeah. Be a good
Yeah,
person.
so-
Honestly, I swear to God, I've met people, some people go like, damn, if only this guy was Muslim. And I was like, why, bro? He's just a good person. Just
yeah.
like, yeah, maybe in your terms it would be nice if he was Muslim. You know what I mean? But let's just acknowledge that he's a fucking great human being.
Do you
That's it.
think
He
people
follows every moral code of every religion?
Do you think from a religious perspective,
Yeah.
people emphasize death too much? They don't focus on, or the only reason they focus on life is so that their death will be better, even though they don't know what happens.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, because I feel like life is just looked at as a test. Because this isn't guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed here.
Yeah.
But what the books tell you, but book by book, is what's guaranteed.
Well, I
you know?
think 2 + 2 equals 4 is guaranteed.
Yeah, but minus
Like
1
math,
is 3.
math can be pretty guaranteed. At least basic.
Yeah.
Trigonometry, calculus, stuff like
Mhm.
that can be pretty guaranteed. But I mean, like, you're right though. Most shit in life is not guaranteed.
Yeah, just look at the
Absolutely.
concluding like touches of every book. You'll see like what's guaranteed. you
Yeah.
know?
But I think people put too much of an emphasis on death, per se, and they don't focus enough on the life. Or rather, they're focusing on the life too much for the wrong reason.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they act as if the
yeah.
reward comes in the end.
Yeah.
Once you're dead.
And I feel like that
but why can't you have the reward?
I feel like
be
life
now?
is almost treated as like,
It's-
doesn't really matter.
I feel like it literally happens because of people taking words too literal.
Yeah.
They just like they focus on the key words and then they forget about life. And then they're like, damn, I can't even live a life. I just have to be working constant. Like, no.
'Cause
You can live your life.
Because the way I look at it, at least from a statistical standpoint, life is the reward. Because as far as we're concerned, allegedly,
Allegedly.
we don't know anything's out there. We're it. That's all we know.
Yeah, according to our
Life is a-
senses and eyes.
1 in 400 in trillion
Yeah.
probability of being a human being. That's a fucking reward.
Now the universe is seemingly infinite as far as we know because we can only see so far with
Mhm.
telescopes and like guesstimate the size of the universe. Like, have you seen the map of the universe?
Yeah.
Looks like an oval,
Uh-huh.
kind of. Like, those are all just hypothetical based off of math done by people way smarter than me, right?
Yeah.
Way
Dorks.
smarter than
Dorks.
me. They're not dorks.
Oh, they're 100% dorks.
No, they're smart.
They would admit themselves that they're dorks.
Maybe, but I like to think of them as
And I carry that
I like
with
to
respect.
think of them as astrological visionaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I carry that label with respect, by the way. Dorks.
But yeah, treat life as the reward, because as far as we know, this is it.
Fair enough.
Very true.
Of all the hundreds of millions of planets that we can observe, and the infinite number of planets, infinite number of star systems, we haven't found anything.
Just accept it as what it is.
Yeah, and if you don't know what's coming next, right? And as scary as it is, because we don't know, it's the one thing. It's one of the main things we don't really know, right? One of life's biggest questions. Don't focus on that. Just focus on being a good person, doing the right thing, and trying to make everybody else around you have as good of an experience as you hopefully are having.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Actually,
Yeah.
And followed by
A
an even
message.
bigger question is, why aren't you watching episode number 55? Because it has come to an end.
We have
Wait,
more
wait, we
questions.
have one more.
We have one
No,
more
we have
question?
we have a few more questions.
We just take fucking forever on each question.
Yeah.
That's why.
They're just big questions. These other questions are
Political
quicker. They're
What
quicker.
are questions?
What these last three are pretty quick. What's the best meal you've had? I'm sure Saeed's one includes ranch. That comes from a sure M.
God damn.
Best meal I've ever had. I mean, listen, I can't go wrong with a well-cooked medium rare steak and some asparagus drowned in all extra virgin olive oil. I'll just keep it simple.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
I think the best meal
Sweet
I've
potatoes
had.
on the side.
The best meal I've had.
This guy's gonna say Popeyes.
Dude, no. There's one that sits with me forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's that first time I had a double McChicken in Italy. From
What?
McDonald's.
Interesting
Yeah.
fucking choice.
What?
It was a seeded bun with actual chicken, and it was a double layered with one single cheese
It's Italy. It's not the U.S.
and shredded lettuce. It was fucking phenomenal.
Okay. How about you?
Funny enough, I don't think it's the best meal I've ever had,
Yeah.
but it's consistently the best meal I've ever had. It's In-N-Out.
Oh.
In-N-Out's pretty fucking good.
I have only had maybe one or two bad meals at In-N-Out for
Mhm.
probably the thousands of times I've eaten there
Yeah.
over the course of my life.
Isn't that insane that we've been there thousands of times?
Yeah.
Hundreds, not thousands.
No, I
No,
think
thousands for sure.
Well, for
Thousands
you guys,
for
maybe.
sure, dude.
Hundreds.
Yeah, damn.
All right, Mr. Healthy Meat. But it's not the best meal I've ever had, obviously, but it's it's consistently a great meal every time I
Agreed.
go there.
Agreed.
So I guess not the best, but consistently the best. In-N-Out. Quality you can taste. Not
Oh.
sponsored.
No.
From Tiabu Z. Why is it that women find it necessary to be trifling?
Listen, both men and women trifle. What does trifling even mean?
Scheming.
Yeah, human beings scheme.
So
Yeah, it's everybody. It's
be-
not just women.
So having the look of shame on you 24/7. Is that what it is?
No, it's more of like, I guess
manipulative games.
there you go, manipulative
yeah.
characteristics.
Well, yeah. Men and women have that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's all the above. I don't think it's just
Yeah,
women.
It's not just women,
Yeah.
but
The question is, why are you trifling?
Yeah, that's
buddy.
the real question. And now we're coming to the very last question, which is
Oh
asked by Sean _ Mick. What's cracking all the way?
What's Brecken?
good G.
Anyways, he asks, what is the equivalent of pumpkin spice lattes for white men?
Ooh.
White women
I
have
was
pumpkin
I was
spice
thinking about
lattes.
this morning while I was getting a haircut, and I think it has to be an IPA. It has to. What the fuck else would it be?
I don't know, a cigar.
No,
No, a lot of people don't smoke cigars as much
But
as
a lot-
beer.
but
or
a- I don't know about an IPA either. I think it's definitely got to be something else.
I don't know.
I think it's more of a clothing thing.
Dude, my creatine.
cargo shorts.
Creatine?
Not a lot of white dudes wear. Not a lot of dudes wear like cargo shorts anymore though.
A lot
That's
of dudes
not.
wear cargo shorts, bro.
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to really think.
It's the sin. Cargo shorts with sandals.
I feel like it's just dark coffee. Straight up.
I would. I mean, I'd agree
I mean,
with that.
I don't because
Pumpkin
I'm
spice
trying to
latte
think
for
about
me.
it in terms of everyone that I've seen as a customer, a human being, a friend, everything.
But specifically white men.
Well, the way
White men.
the way I'm thinking about it is, like it has to be seasonal.
Yeah.
Because pumpkin spice lattes only come for a certain time of year. And it has to be something where dudes are like, "Oh my god, like it's here!" Like they
Hold
start freaking out, you know?
Every release of every console.
Yes, that's it. Perfect.
Bang.
Perfect example.
That's a good one.
Anytime an Xbox or a new
That's a
Xbox or
good one.
PlayStation comes out.
Yeah, hello, you guys taking pre-orders?
The Kyles start to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
That is for sure the pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah. And on that note, man, I think
Great
it's good.
questions. Thank you.
We're gonna
Excellent
come to an
questions.
end. Thank you guys for the questions. You guys are wonderful people. You know where to find us: Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please leave a 5-star review on Apple
YouTube.
Podcasts, please. And you can also find us on YouTube. Subscribe and like. Leave a comment. And for any future updates or Q&As, we'll keep you posted on Instagram. So on that note,
The
we're gonna have you
Instagram,
leave
the Instagram handle, by the way, I would just like to say it
Oh, yeah.
at least once on the podcast.
at the 2 a.m.
At the 2 a.m. podcast, all lowercase, all together, no
Yes.
spaces.
And with that, 3, 2.
Peace.